Good morning and welcome to a new show from Felixstowe TV called The Eternal Spirit Show. I'm Paul Salmon, I'm a psychic medium, and each week I'm going to have a guest talking about different aspects of the mind, body and spirit. And my first guest today is Jeannie Purnell. Hello Jeannie.
Hello.
Now you're a reflexologist.
Yes.
Shall we start at the beginning? What
What is
reflexology?
Okay, basically it's a treatment given to one's feet, and it's believed that there are over 7,000 nerve endings in each feet.
I knew there's a few, but not 7,000.
Yes. And so the theory is that from the nerve endings all connected to your organs and your glands. So we use just a very gentle technique of the thumb. So we sort of press on each nerve ending, hopefully, and so as to stimulate the process in the body, sort of getting the organs and the glands working as they should do. For me, I believe that it is just a wonderful form of relaxation, which I think everyone really deserves for the well-being. So it's just a wonderful, beautiful treatment where all you need to do is to sit on the couch or on a chair or sleep on the couch, and just to remove your shoes and socks, and away one goes. Then the treatment is given to the feet, so it just puts one into a very deep relaxation, and it just gives you that sense of well-being, which is just marvellous.
So it's a holistic sort of all over.
Oh, it's definitely holistic.
But then again, Jeannie, if I've just got a bad back or bad shoulder, can I just come and see you for that?
Absolutely. I mean, there's lots of theories saying that surely how can it work and blah blah blah, but I think just to be pampered and to have that sort of form of treatment, I think it kind of half wins the battle. You know, you immediately come out feeling really good, which is the whole point of it. Because you know, if you can get your mind to be really relaxed and your body, and therefore your spirit feels really calm and really at peace. So in that way we kind of help to kickstart the body into healing itself.
We might talk about the spirit later on, but what's the history? What's the earliest recorded history we have of reflexology?
Well, it's the earliest recording, I think it's has been noted, first began in China over 4,000, or more than 4,000 years ago. And there's also evidence that also began in Egypt over 2,500 years, where there's an inscription on the wall where people actually done it.
Egypt played a part. So right. And what about names? Are there any? I mean, like in spiritualism and different branches, names often stand out. You know, what about reflexology? Is there anyone famous that you can mention or in that field?
Well, our forefathers, like Dr. William Fitzgerald, who in America was an ENT, ear, nose, throat surgeon. And he kind of fell upon it by accident. He was the one that brought about the zone therapy, because he found that if you put pressure on certain points of your fingers, that immediately gave a calming effect. It was almost like an anaesthetic in itself. So it made him sort of look into it a bit more deeply. And so that was about 1913. And he had a physiotherapist working along the side of him called Eunice, and she was absolutely fascinated by that and took it further, did lots and lots of research into it, and thanks to her, it was her who brought reflexology around. Because
you mentioned about 4,000 years at the beginning, maybe, but I mean, of course, and the Chinese are known for their scientific minds, the way they look into things, but we progress with time, don't we? So in the 1900s, say, that guy found something different on the fingertips. So it's all progressive. It all moves with time, and science plays its part, I suppose.
Absolutely. I mean, it is known as a science-based, this reflexology. You know, through lots of research, people have actually found that there's some connection from you know, our nerve endings to sort of connecting to our organs and glands.
So how did you get involved, Jeannie?
Well, it was from a mind and body spirit, actually, which I attended quite a few years ago. Yes, it was in London. And I went for with the aura photograph, and I had a reading, and this lady said, "My goodness," she said, "you make a perfect reflexologist. Do you know anything about reflexology?" And I went, "No, don't know anything about it." And from that moment onwards, that was through her that sort of sowed the seed in my mind, and it took about 2 years later before I went on a course.
Yeah. Now you're based in Ipswich, aren't you? Or just outside
Stowmarket,
Ipswich?
yeah.
So where did you learn?
I went to Lowestoft to do my course, and it took over a year, which was lovely.
So after 1 year, are you a fully?
I'm a fully qualified reflexologist, and I belong with a body that's called the Association of Reflexology.
And that's a governing body, is it?
Yeah.
And if you're not sure what to type in into it, I mean, no doubt they have a website. Or what is the website? Do you know offhand?
What the
governing body?
The governing body is the Association of Reflexology.
Right. I was going to say,
AOR.
if you can't remember that, just Google
AOR.
AOR, governing body, reflexology,
Yes.
or feet.
Yeah.
Feet massage.
Yeah, I have to quickly hasten that a lot of people feel a bit funny about having treatments given to their feet, so we also do it on our hands as well as a different
Really?
option. Yeah, because it's all to do, because it's the extremities, so all the nerve endings are down at the end there, which to be giving treatment on there, it just naturally follows it through to the rest of your body.
But what do you call it then? Is it still called
Hand
reflexology?
reflexology.
Hand reflex. I've not heard, that's a new one on me, Jeannie. Right, so if people wish to get in contact with you, have you got a website?
I have, yes. It's Jeannie's Reflexology.
Right.
www.jeanniesreflexology.co.uk.
Right. And if you're not sure about that, get in touch with me at Felixstowe TV. I'm sure we can pass some. Or do you travel though? Do you go out to work? I mean, how do you work in the first place?
I am based at home. I do my treatments mainly from home,
Yeah.
and I also have a room at the Beauty Barns in Stoneham Hospital.
Right.
So there's two options where people can come to for treatments.
But if they can't, maybe you could travel out.
I could, under sort of special circumstances,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Now, supposing I have a bad back. I've actually got a bad elbow, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be daft to come and phone you up and say, look, I've got a bad elbow. Can you do something with my feet to cure?
Definitely not, because obviously on the foot, we have been taught, well, it's just a reflection of your body, the feet. So I know certain parts of the feet where, you know, say your elbow, I know exactly where to give that extra treatment on that particular part of the foot. Mm.
So I knock on your door, I come in. What's the process? What happens?
I obviously invite you into my room.
Cup of tea as well?
No, I don't offer you a cup of tea because reflexology is obviously helping to detox you as well. We try and get rid of all the toxins, so tea's not a very good idea. We try and encourage.
Because you're looking
water.
at the whole holistic thing, aren't you? Not just the feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you come in, I offer you a chair and I offer you a nice little foot bath.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's nice for you that you feel that you can have your feet washed, and it's all good for the process
be better
of
for you as
pampering.
well,
It's good for me
washed.
as well, obviously. So it kind of breaks that barrier for both of us. You know, gets us into that nice state of relaxation. And I'll do a consultation form, so I shall ask all about your history, medical history, and things like that.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of things that we have to be very aware of. You know, if you've got like deep vein thrombosis or diabetes, we have to sort of stay clear from that and encourage you to go to the doctors rather than sort of receiving treatments from us, because I have to emphasise we're not here to diagnose or cure. We're just here to give you, well, it's getting you to work alongside with the doctor if you've got an ailment. Yeah. We're there just to, as a backup, if you like, just giving you another added treatment to help you along.
Now, you know, I'm tempted to take my shoe and sock off and say, let's demonstrate some pressure points, but we can't really. So, but correct me if I'm wrong, is the top of the foot connected to the top of the head?
Yes, yes. As I say, if you put your feet together, so that the tops of your toes represent your head, and as you go down to the rest of your foot, so you've got your head, and then you go down to your eyes and your ears and your throat, and your lungs are on the ball of your feet, and then you've got your abdomen area, and then down the bottom is your pelvis. But as I say, if you put that together, you can actually see the shape of your bottom.
Thank you for that.
Can see the head. So it's an absolute mirror of your body. Yeah.
But do you get regular clients, I suppose, not customers?
Yeah, clients.
Who come along for top-ups?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I have one that comes every 2 weeks.
Do you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And maybe not just for a specific not specific ailment, but just a general all-over well-being?
Well, well-being, that's right, yes. Because we live in a very stressful world, so it's really important for us to have that nice calming relaxation every now and then. It's like when we sleep, that's the only chance the body can heal itself. So why not have something else like that, just to really bring that body down into that lovely relaxation state and help the body to heal itself.
And what about children? I mean, is there a law governing children, or can you practice on children?
Yeah, I have done on children as well. Obviously, you have to be a little bit more, a little careful that you don't sort of give a heavy dosage on them, because it will just send them a little bit off the earth.
Of course, I get help. I mean, being on Phillips TV now helps you and it helps me with the guest, but it also helps get reflexology out there. Because I'm sure some people say, like me, got a bad elbow. I wouldn't think about going to a reflexologist.
No, that's
surely.
the last thing on people's minds, really, isn't it? Yeah, sort of working on the feet. How can that help me with my elbow?
I'm just wondering, because at doctors now, some doctors suggest healing, spiritual healing to people. I wonder if they ever mention reflexology or...
They are coming round to that idea. It's now being encouraged for the doctors to suggest, recommend that to patients,
Because you mentioned about working on the thumb. That reminds me of acupressure, isn't it? What the Chinese do,
I mean, if you like to, if you just bring your hand around, I mean, this is the sort of the movement that I do. So that's just giving you that sort of pressure.
Now, what should that be touching? What should that be?
I'm going down your thyroid. No, sorry, shoulder. That's your thyroid. Yeah, your shoulders are here. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So it's just that sort of movement. Nice, gentle. Like you said, it is like a form of acupuncture.
Yeah. Now, Jeannie, let's tell the people at home. We actually know each other from not too long ago, years back, and so it's nice to catch up with you again. Now, we did practice mediumship or psychic. We sat in a circle. We sat where we developed in a circle, and we learnt with each other, with a few others. Are you still keeping up with your spiritual?
Most definitely, because I'm also a qualified spiritual healer, so it's very important for me to continue with my development in that area. So I am part of a circle, which I go to each week.
Oh, right. Is that with the
Federation
of Spiritual Healers?
Yeah.
Right. That makes me think. Now, can you combine the spiritual side with your reflexology?
Most definitely. I have a lot of clients that come to me not for only reflexology, but once that treatment is finished with, they often ask for me to give them spiritual healing as well. So it can go hand in hand. Right. Very powerful, but quite the benefits of it. Yeah.
Right. Can you give me a few case studies of, say, 2 people, without mentioning names, of course, that have benefited from your work?
What, with reflexology?
Yeah,
one actually springs to mind. A lot of my clients come to me if they've got sinus problems or migraines, and one experience, or 2 experiences I had, where a client had tremendous problems with their sinuses, and as I was giving treatment and I was really working on that particular area, I actually heard the sinuses pop.
Did you?
And the client's tear ducts completely open, and you could see them absolutely, it was just streaming down.
Yeah.
So that was an absolute evidence, if nothing else. I've had one lady that came to me who, because there's a lot of research going into this area, but she couldn't fall pregnant, and I gave her regular sessions, if not sort of 3 times a week, and she had a baby. Yeah, she fell pregnant about 5 months after the treatment. Yeah, and she's got a bonny little baby boy. Yeah. So she's asked me to be the godmother because she was absolutely over the moon. So. Yeah. And also with asthma and migraines, I've had a few clients that's helped to sort of clear it up.
I should have saw you about my sinus years ago. I've had red hot poker stuffed up my nostrils. It hasn't been nice.
And I don't know if I can do it again, but I've had one lady that came to me, she was quite heavily pregnant, and she didn't say anything to me. In fact, she failed to tell me in the consultation form. But I managed to pick up that she only had 1 kidney, and I knew exactly what side of the body where the kidney was missing.
But how do you know this?
You kind of pick it up as you go. It just takes years of experience. Yeah. You just feel like lodges and bumps, and it's it's very difficult to explain.
I imagine it's like when I do tarot cards, that's a springboard for me knowing something else. Like my other abilities would come into play, and. So, are you working as a medium yet? Because I know we both developed our psychic ability together. No, and a mediumship.
I'm still feeling a little bit scared. I don't know if that's the right word. I just feel I need a lot more confidence and a lot more growth before I can get there.
Yeah, it's just not ready for that.
No, not quite ready for it. But I do feel very in tune, and what with the spiritual healing and with reflexology, I feel that my path is getting closer and closer in that way.
So when you're doing your thumb pressure and your reflexology, do you ever feel guided? Do you think sometimes it's not me, it's you're being guided?
I do, absolutely, because as I say, I'm into sort of spiritual healing. As I start, I hold the hold the client's feet, and I ask to be in tune with them and with the universe, and I ask for their guidance.
Right.
And I do, sometimes I look at my hands and I feel that's not my hands working at all.
Right. Oh, and it's, okay, we've got the spiritual body, we've got the body, the material body. Now, do you reckon it can work on the astral body as well, reflexology?
I see why not.
The spiritual body.
Absolutely. It's I look at it as a bit like if the car's not working very well and you jumpstart that car, which we do with with reflexology or spiritual healing, we sort of jumpstart the body into action, and it's like with the aura, it's like wiping that windscreen, getting it nice and clean, and getting it all.
Right. I won't go into it now, but for those at home, we have this material body, and we have this like subtle auric body as well, and that's a science I'm not going to go into now.
It's
not this time of morning. I'm sure if you're watching this programme, you should know what we're talking about. So let's talk about Jeannie Purnell outside of reflexology a bit. What else, hobbies or interests do you have?
My other biggest hobby is knitting.
Yeah.
I have been knitting a lot for customers, and I'm hoping to start some workshops with a lady called Candy at Willermead, Alpaca Willermead, so I'm hoping that's going to go off the ground. But it suddenly occurred to me that I want to take it even further, either getting a shop, start selling some yarn, and but through that shop to get a knitting circle together. So it could be at Willermead, or if this shop comes about, because I think knitting, it could be a brilliant form of therapy in itself as well.
It is a wonderful form of therapy, isn't it?
Oh, it's just amazing. I mean, I've joined a circle once before, and it just draws so many people in who have got personal problems of their own, like if they've lost their loved ones or whatever. That is an amazing thing to go to, because knitting is like a distraction. It calms the mind down, it gets them to focus on something, and also it gives them that opportunity to interact with other people, so for talking and sharing and things like that. So I think there's something in it I really want to pursue on that.
I mean, my granddad used to knit, and my son knits a bit now, so it's not all women, is it?
Absolutely not. I mean, before I finished school, because I used to be a teaching assistant, I started a knitting club. And I've had, nearly up to, I think it must have been about 150 children went through my hands one way or another, where I sort of helped to teach to knit. And there were more boys than girls that came to my club, They were very deft.
Mind you, going back to your reflexology, I said come away. What are these products you have now?
Oh, yes, my own labelled products.
Is that connected to reflexology?
I have started with hand and foot lotions to back up my treatments.
Let's hold them up to the camera.
Yeah, so it's Jeannie's Beauty Blessings.
So I know nothing about this. I've not done my research on this, Jeannie.
These products are absolutely beautiful. I get a lady to make these for me. They are absolutely natural. So there's no paraben or sulfate chemicals in these.
So you actually chose the chemical.
I asked this lady. Yes, I found a lady that does these products. Free of these chemicals.
Right. Okay.
And in fact, one product I did actually ask her to make for me, which was for fingernails, because I'm into essential oils myself as well. So it's something like I like to go down that sort of field as well. I asked her that like lemon essential oil is brilliant for strengthening the nails. Yeah. So she made me up a balm, and they're absolutely going like hotcakes, because apparently.
Make the most of it,
that one is not a lemon balm, mate.
Where's the
that one's
label?
in the garden, that one, but I haven't got any more of that nail product, because they're just going like hot nails. Lemon essential
You're going
oil.
like hot nails?
Yes, going like hotcakes. Yes.
And what did you say about the garden?
In the garden, I mean, I've got all sorts of products. This one's for the garden, so for women who like to work in the garden, that is perfect for calming the hands and soothing it. It helps with your scratches and bites and things like that. As I said, this is a hand lotion, which is in a beautiful pump here, which comes in different scents. Like I've got honey and lemon, and honey and apricot, and summer berries. And this one is just a nice hand lotion, coconut butter there. I also do foot products. They've all gone now, so I do. Like for the
so, do you use your own products on your clients' feet as well?
I do now. Yeah.
and they can go away happy and relaxed and buy some of your products.
Absolutely, hopefully, yeah.
And are these on your website as well?
They are, yeah.
Can you get them in shops, or is it a saturated market now with all this
Um,
going on?
You can get these certain products in the shops, I believe.
But I mean, can you get out there more in shops?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's loads. You pick up like hand and foot products.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the sort of natural. They're very few and far between because a lot of products have these chemicals in them,
Right.
which is not really good. Because obviously, if I'm doing reflexology and it's all about the well-being,
Yeah.
I want to give something that is not going to harm my clients.
Well, of course, yeah.
So that's an added bonus there.
So I was going to say, what does the future hold for Jeannie Purnell? But you've got enough on your plate.
I hope
haven't
so. Enough to get going with, yes.
Before we go, you say you do spiritual healing.
Mm-hmm.
What is spiritual healing?
It's a way of connecting with the universe. How I look at it is sort of getting yourself tuned in and connecting with the universe and drawing down the energy and surrounding that person with energy. But more than anything else, it's about unconditional love. It's just giving that person unconditional love, and through that love of healing, hopefully that also will kickstart the body into healing itself. So it's just drawing that energy down. So I'm just like a medium,
like a telephone.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just drawing it down, and it's going through me, and I just channel it out around the person.
So is it a laying on of hands? What some people might call.
Yeah, I don't actually. Yeah, I mean, my hands don't actually touch the person. The way I've been taught is to hover around the person. But I mean, with their permission, if they want to be touched, then I will touch them.
Yeah.
In certain areas like your shoulders and your feet and all the back.
Now, could you do that after a session of reflexology, or would that be too much for?
Well, as I said earlier, I've had clients that come off the couch and said, "Oh, please, will you give me spiritual healing?"
Yeah.
And that can be done after.
Oh, so it can, yeah.
It can go hand in hand.
I know you mentioned like you can combine the two sort of thing, but I didn't know if you separated the two sessions, like one reflexology and that's gone, and next minute we do spiritual healing. But
I have done that. Yeah.
Oh, you have. You can do that as well.
I sort of do the reflexology, and once that's over and done with, and then they sort of come off the couch, or they can stay on the couch, and I give them spiritual healing as well. Yeah.
And do you have all like my imagination's going havoc now? In your, what do you call it, a clinic at home or your studio?
That's a good point, actually. I call it just home-based.
Home-based therapies.
Therapies, yeah.
Right. Do you have candles and music on?
Yeah, absolutely.
To make it more relaxed.
I think that's essential to make the room as tranquil as possible, because as soon as they come in, I've had clients go, "Oh, this is absolutely beautiful." It's just, and you can see it. The effects. It brings that person down beautifully, and it's very calming. And that's the whole point of this whole treatment. It's just to bring that person down and get them into that state of relaxation.
Lovely.
So, but with the music, obviously, one has to ask. Some like music, some don't. So you always have to be aware what those people want. Yeah.
Jeannie, it's been a pleasure having you as my guest today.
Thank you.
I feel very relaxed. Maybe I'll come back to your place and have a bit of foot massage or whatever.
Indeed.
About my elbow,
welcome anytime. Yeah.
And what's your website again?
It's www.jeanniesreflexology.co.uk.
Right. And if you haven't got that, get in touch with me at felixtove.co.uk. Jeannie, thank you ever so much.
Well, thank you for having me on your show.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed this edition, and goodbye and God bless.